In a small town cradled by rolling hills, where the sky seemed a little closer to the earth, stood the old Crestwood Observatory. It was there that Elara, a woman who saw the universe in numbers and spectral lines, first met Liam, a man who saw it in color and light. Elara was an astrophysicist, her life a quiet orbit around data and cosmic theories. Her heart was a distant star, burning brightly but from a great protective distance. Liam was an artist, his canvases filled with the wild, swirling nebulas and pinprick stars he saw in his dreams. His heart was a meteor shower, brilliant, passionate, and open for all to see. They met on a Tuesday, under the dome of the Great Telescope. A rare planetary alignment was gracing the night, and the observatory was open to the public. Elara was explaining the gravitational dance of the planets to a small group when she noticed a man at the edge of the crowd, not looking through the eyepiece, but at a sketchbook. His charcoal-smudged fingers moved with a feverish grace, capturing the vastness above on a simple paper page. After her talk, curiosity nudged her closer. "You're drawing the alignment?" she asked. Liam looked up, his eyes the color of a twilight sky. "Trying to," he smiled. "It's hard to capture a waltz when you can only hear the music." Elara, who had only ever thought of it as orbital mechanics, was struck by his description. "The music," she mused. "I've never thought of it that way." That was their beginning. Their conversations started with stars and galaxies, but soon spiraled into dreams, fears, and the quiet constellations of their own pasts. Elara would point to a patch of darkness and tell Liam about the invisible black hole warping space-time. Liam would look at the same spot and sketch the story of a lost god, his loneliness a gravity well of its own. He taught her to see the poetry in the cosmos. She taught him the science that underpinned its beauty. Their love grew like a slow-dawning nebula, first a faint glow, then an undeniable vibrant bloom. They had picnics under the Perseids, their faces lit by the fleeting streaks of light. Liam filled Elara's sterile apartment with paintings of distant galaxies, and for the first time it felt like a home. He painted a mural of the Orion Nebula on her bedroom ceiling, so she could fall asleep each night in the heart of a stellar nursery. In his arms, Elara learned that love wasn't a variable to be solved, but a universe to be explored. Then came the offer, a position at the Atacama Observatory in Chile, a stargazer's paradise with the clearest skies on Earth. It was the culmination of Elara's life's work, a dream she had chased with singular focus. But the dream, once so clear, was now clouded. Chile was a world away from Liam. The night she told him, the silence between them felt heavier than a neutron star. "It's for 3 years," she said, her voice barely a whisper, the words tasting like ash. Liam was quiet for a long time, his gaze fixed on the mural above them. Elara's heart fractured, bracing for the end. How could she ask him to wait? How could she choose between the two universes that defined her? Finally, he turned to her, his twilight eyes soft with a love that felt as infinite as the space they both cherished. "When you were a kid," he began, his voice thick with emotion, "what did you dream of when you looked at the stars?" "I dreamed of seeing them up close," she confessed, tears welling. "Of understanding what they were." "Then you have to go," he said simply. "Our love isn't a cage, Elara. It's a launching pad. You taught me that every star, no matter how distant, is part of the same sky." A week before she was due to leave, Liam held a small exhibition at a local gallery. He led Elara inside and she gasped. The walls were covered with paintings of their time together, each one mapped onto a star chart. There was their first meeting under the planetary alignment, a picnic under the Perseids, their laughter captured in the bright swirls of the Andromeda Galaxy. The final piece was a diptych. On one canvas, the northern night sky above Crestwood. On the other, the southern sky above Atacama. Connecting them was a single shimmering silver thread. The collection was titled "One Sky." "Distance is just a number," Liam whispered, taking her hand. "The same starlight will touch both of us." 3 years later, Elara stood on a balcony in the high desert of Chile, a world-renowned scientist. She looked up at the Magellanic Clouds, galaxies visible only from this hemisphere. The door opened behind her and Liam stepped out, carrying 2 cups of tea. He had moved his studio 6 months in, unable to bear painting their sky alone. He wrapped his arms around her, and they looked up at the unfamiliar, magnificent heavens. It was a new sky, a new chapter, but their love was the same constant, a quiet, powerful gravity holding their 2 worlds together in a perfect, beautiful orbit.